Hey guys, it's MJam. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Today we're going to be talking about indulging in relaxation and not feeling guilty about it. It's so funny that so many people have been fooled into thinking that relaxing is a bad thing. Healing is found in slowing down. In fact, when you allow yourself to relax, you actually are healing. I'm talking about in a biological way, because when you slow down, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system. And this essentially helps your body recover from stress. So next time that you're doing nothing, just remember you're actually healing. So don't feel guilty about it. Today, I want to have a much needed conversation on relaxation. We live in a fast-paced society. There's always something to do or something to get done. From trying to maintain balance within your career, trying to maintain a social life, trying to perform basic functions and necessities that are required for your well-being, things can get a little chaotic. With all the things that need to get done, there doesn't seem like there's much time left for something as simple as relaxation. Within our modern day society, I personally feel like relaxation has become an extremely underdeveloped skill. It's actually something that I myself struggle with, and that's what compelled me to make this video. So let's get further into it. Relaxation is a state in which you don't feel any tension, you don't feel any anxiety, you allow yourself to freely flow into rest and comfortability. So in essence, relaxation acts as a counterbalance to stress. Resting allows us to recover and basically maintain equilibrium in our lives, a sense of balance, if you will. So I've come to realize that a lot of people consider scrolling aimlessly through social media while laying in bed a form of relaxation. But I'm sorry to break it to you, you're technically not necessarily going full mode into that relaxation state. And I'm gonna tell you why. If laying down and scrolling aimlessly through social media is your preferred method of relaxation, I'm gonna tell you why you need to stop doing that and actually implement a real relaxation technique. So when you're doing this, you're basically overstimulating your nervous system because you're continuing to take in information. What you want to do in order to facilitate that healing is activate that parasympathetic nervous system. But when you're overstimulating yourself by aimlessly scrolling through social media and whatnot, you're doing the opposite of this. So implementing a relaxation technique is really important in my opinion because it allows us to decompress. It allows us to get rid of any stress or any internal blockages that we may have. And I know that you're probably thinking, oh, there's nothing that I really need to recover from or heal from. Even if there's a little stress that I go through in a day-to-day basis, I still don't need to facilitate that healing. Well, you're wrong. I'm gonna tell you why. Given how hyper-paced our society is, it's not surprising that a lot of people are developing a dysregulated nervous system. As a matter of fact, I've come into contact with a lot of people like this. They are basically on the verge of burnout, but because they feel like they don't have any time to rest, they continue to show up. And the problem is that when you continue to push yourself to this extent without having some time to relax, it can potentially lead you to burnout. So when I refer to healing, I'm referring to allowing your nervous system to come back to equilibrium by essentially activating that parasympathetic nervous system. And we can only really do this by, doing things that actually help us relax. It's gonna be so good for you because it basically improves your overall well-being. When we are relaxed, we are less stressed. And I don't know about you, but I don't wanna be stressed out in life. Like, who wants to be stressed all the time? Not me. So in other words, you need to relax in order to heal. Learning to relax is basically essential to your healing because when you relax, it activates that parasympathetic nervous system, which basically counteracts the sympathetic nervous system, which basically induces that fight or flight mode. You can think of the nervous system as your body's communication network. It basically helps control everything you do from breathing to moving your muscles. I'm gonna give you a very brief breakdown on the two parts of the nervous system that I wanna talk about today, just so that you're able to get a deeper understanding on everything that I'm talking about. So the two main parts of the nervous system that I wanna talk about today are the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And then we're gonna get into why this is important for you to know. So the sympathetic nervous system is like your body's alarm system. It's like I said, it induces the fight or flight mode. So to me, this basically acts as a we're about to throw hands side of our nervous system. I have to fight, I have to defend myself, or I have to run because, I can't take this person on because they're too big or something. But it's that part of the nervous system that's basically gonna let you know, and it's gonna alert you when there is a problem. When your sympathetic nervous system is activated, you can probably expect symptoms like, a fast heartbeat, maybe some sweating, maybe your face getting flustered and turning red, little things like that. And then we have the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of your nervous system that basically induces that healing girl era, that we're on top of our stuff, we're not gonna fight, this is too messy, we're relaxed, we're drinking our cup of tea, and we're staying out of other people's tea, okay? That's the parasympathetic nervous system for you, okay? It's that healing girl era. So when you're unable to relax, you probably will develop a tendency of keeping your nervous system overstimulated. A person with an overstimulated nervous system will usually show up as someone who's always active. And by that, I mean that they always have the TV on, they always have to have some noise in the background, they always have to be distracted or doing something. It could be scrolling through social media or just finding different ways of keeping themselves entertained. And this will usually happen because in order to enter that healing phase, you have to allow yourself to go into relaxation mode. A lot of people have such an overactive or dysregulated nervous system that it becomes a bit more of a challenge, allowing yourself to go into that healing phase. This typically tends to show up for people who have experienced a lot of trauma in life, because at the end of the day, our trauma is stored in the nervous system, as far as we know anyway. So yeah, if you're someone that's sustained or experienced a lot of negative experiences in life or trauma, then most likely you suffer from having an overactive nervous system that is, probably dysregulated. And this probably means that it's a little bit more difficult for you to allow yourself to relax. So it's important to give yourself grace. It's a process. Because as a reminder, healing is feeling. And when you allow yourself to go into that relaxation mode, what's gonna happen is that it's gonna activate that parasympathetic nervous system. And when that happens, a lot of unresolved things tend to come to the surface. I'm talking about things from years ago, things that have been running rampant in the back of your mind, but you always find a way to basically suppress. So if this is the case for you, I know it can be uncomfortable and maybe even difficult, but as hard as it may be, I encourage you to feel through it and to try to get in tune with your emotions, because as difficult as it may be, you can't avoid feeling your emotions forever. And so going through it is the only way to get through it. When you're unable to relax, you're unable to heal, because in order to heal, you must have a relaxed nervous system. And again, once you activate that parasympathetic nervous system for long enough, a lot of things will come to the surface. And in order to progress, you're gonna have to allow yourself to feel through those uncomfortable emotions, or, to explore those uncomfortable thought patterns. Because again, the only way to get through it is to essentially go through it. It's important to note that an unregulated nervous system can show up in a lot of ways. It can show up as moodiness, like constantly being on edge. It can show up as being overwhelmed, snappy, and maybe just overly reactive. So when someone has a dysregulated nervous system, they can sometimes overreact or underreact to situations. Sometimes these reactions might even show up as rage outbursts or passive aggressiveness. The thing is that if a nervous system is dysregulated for long periods of time, it can lead to a plethora of mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and in some cases even sleep deprivation. So in the long run, someone that has a dysregulated nervous system could also develop issues within their body like chronic pain, digestive issues. So yeah, you want to keep your nervous system regulated, because if you go long periods without regulating your nervous system, not only can it make you more aggressive, less understanding towards other people, it could also, give you mental health issues, and it could essentially mess with your physical health. Hopefully now you know why it's so important to allow yourself to relax, because when you allow yourself to relax, you heal. See, the only problem is that because we live in a world with so much stimulation and so much constantly going on, I fear people have forgotten how to relax. And some people haven't even learned. So I'm going to teach y'all. No, in all seriousness, I'm here to help you. So, if you struggle with regulating your nervous system, then here are a couple of tips that you can implement into your life that will guarantee to activate your parasympathetic nervous system and catapult that healing phase in your life. Let's go, bestie. Because remember, hot girls heal. Now, you guys already know that my first go to is deep breathing. I know I'm always swearing by this, but it's only because it actually works. And I'm gonna tell you why. So, deep breathing exercises help activate the parasympathetic nervous system by essentially slowing down your heart rate and promoting relaxation. This is because when you take slow, deep breaths, it acts as signals to your body, letting you know that you're safe. And this basically counteracts the stress response that the sympathetic nervous system would activate within you if you were in that fight or flight mode. No, but seriously, if you're someone who struggles with relaxing, please, 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 in all seriousness, try breathing techniques, specifically deep breathing techniques, because it's going to help you so much. It helps relieve tension and it's going to help you shift over from a state of being stressed to a state of being calm. It's scientifically proven. So I highly recommend that you do this and that you implement this into your routine if you're someone who struggles with getting into that relaxation mode. And I also think this is a noteworthy mention, but deep breathing exercises increases the flow of oxygen in your brain. So that's also an added benefit. Just do it. You won't regret it. Listen to me. I'm always right. So if you're someone who doesn't like to meditate and breathe, that's fine. Different strokes for different folks. Y'all know what I'm going to say. The second thing that I'm going to say is exercise. We cannot underestimate the healing abilities of exercising. Like, it is so incredibly good for you. You have to do it because I said so and I'm always right. No, but seriously, getting movement is another great way of cultivating relaxation in your life. It doesn't even have to be an intense workout either. Any physical activity or movement will do, but you can do something that is slowed down a bit. You can do something like walking, something like yoga, something like dancing. Basically, getting movement in your body is going to help you release endorphins. These are basically natural mood enhancers that are going to help you shift from a state of stress to a state of calmness. Obviously, it's best if you can implement some sort of routine in which you're getting daily movement. So maybe you add a 20-minute walk to your workout regimen. Maybe you start doing yoga for 30 minutes a day. But little changes like that lead to monumental shifts viscerally. And that's what we're working on right now. We are facilitating the healing that is required in order for us to become better versions of ourselves. So if you're someone who doesn't really resonate with taking the time to practice deep breathing techniques, then maybe you'll benefit from adding a workout regimen to your day-to-day schedule. Okay, so this next one that I'm going to mention basically goes hand in hand with the first point that I made, which was deep breathing. So this next one is my personal favorite to lean into when I am in a state of being stressed. And yes, of course, it is meditation. Mindfulness meditation helps encourage a state of calmness. So it's going to basically move you away from that fight or flight mode. So when you are meditating, that means that you're practicing mindfulness. A huge component of practicing mindfulness is essentially encouraging yourself to be in the present moment. When you're in the present moment, you basically have to essentially quiet your mind so that you can really immerse yourself in the moment that you're in. And when you do this, it's basically going to help reduce the production of cortisol. Cortisol is basically what's developing that stress in our body. So we want to stop the production of cortisol, not completely because it's kind of necessary. All these emotions are necessary, but we want to stop it to the extent in which we can actually allow ourselves to relax. And when you practice mindfulness meditation, because you're immersing yourself in the present moment, it's going to help you achieve this. Meditation is like so great because it really forces you to take that pause before you react. Meditation also helps you build patience. So I definitely recommend implementing a mindfulness meditation practice to your day-to-day schedule. I typically meditate for 15 minutes, when I wake up in the morning and before going to sleep at night. I have seen huge improvements with my attitude and my overall mood and well-being since I started implementing that. So I highly, highly recommend. But of course, to each their own. If you feel like that's not for you, then I totally understand that. But I did want to mention, I've seen a lot of people kind of complain about how meditation isn't for them because they feel the opposite of relaxed. And I just want to mention how I mentioned previously, when you facilitate healing, it's also going to bring a lot of unresolved issues to the surface if you have unresolved issues, running rampant in the back of your mind. So if you implement this mindfulness meditation practice and you're having a bit of trouble, getting grounded and essentially going into that relaxation mode, I would say to just keep showing up and give it about 2 weeks before you're able to fully go into relaxation mode, especially if this is something that you're implementing for the first time, because it will be uncomfortable at first. As a matter of fact, all of these things will most likely feel uncomfortable at first until your body starts developing those neural pathways that help it stick as a habit in your routine. Because this is all about building habits essentially, right? Habits that help activate our parasympathetic nervous system. So yeah, getting back into it, tip number 4 is cold plunges. This is one of the most popular methods that's going around right now. I'm always seeing celebrities and, fitness gurus swearing by cold plunges, and it's because it actually works. I mean, honestly, guys, all of my methods work, but yeah, I swear by cold plunges too. Cold plunges can help activate the vagus nerve system, which is a key component of the parasympathetic nervous system. So what I'm basically saying with this is that if you do cold plunges, it's going to help reduce stress, it's going to help your overall well-being, and it's basically going to activate that part of you that wants to heal, that part of you that wants to relax, because it's like a reset to your nervous system. So yeah, it's a little uncomfortable, but cold plunges are it. This is not even something that you have to do on a day-to-day, to be honest with you. I don't do cold plunges that often because they're really, really, really hard and I like the heat. But you can even implement it once every 2 weeks, and trust me, it's gonna get the job done. And my last tip for activating your parasympathetic nervous system is essentially leaning into anything that makes you feel relaxed. So this is personal to you. I like to read. It helps me slow down. It forces me to slow down. So reading for me is a huge, huge way to basically activate that parasympathetic nervous system and help me lean into that relaxation mode. Another thing is making tea. It's an extremely grounding experience for me, and the actual effects from the herbs that I use in the tea are really beneficial, which, by the way, you guys can implement stuff like chamomile, valerian root. All of these herbs are going to really help you lean into relaxation. But yeah, my last tip is just lean into anything that helps you relax, anything that puts you in that state of just euphoria, because relaxation to me feels so euphoric and so calming and so amazing. There's nothing like peace. So just leaning into anything that brings you that semblance of peace. So there you guys have it. These are some tips that you guys can use to lean into relaxation and just to essentially help you facilitate healing in any aspect that you need healing in. Whether you're experiencing burnout or trying to heal from, a breakup, a job loss, or some trauma that you unfortunately experienced in life, it doesn't matter. We can always heal through it, but we have to facilitate our own healing. So I hope that you can take these methods and implement them into your own life so that you can facilitate healing within yourself. I know that relaxing isn't always the easiest thing, and I know that choosing healing can sometimes be difficult, so I commend you for doing that. I think it's amazing that you are allowing yourself to decompress because you genuinely deserve it. We all do. Never feel guilty for taking care of yourself or for nurturing yourself. I know that we live in a society that's constantly making us feel bad for taking time to ourselves, for taking time to rest, but the alternative is literal burnout. Being so tired that you don't have the energy to do anything. So if burnout leads you to that point, don't you think it's better to just choose to relax by your own means, by your own accord, instead of having the universe and your body force you to slow down? Because that's what will happen if you don't facilitate your own healing, trust me. So the next time that you're doing nothing, don't feel guilty about it. And I just want to say that if you're first generation, I want to give you your flowers, because it's not because it's not celebrated to relax, it's not celebrated to facilitate healing. If you're anything like me, I'm first generation and I grew up in a family where it was deemed laziness to lean into relaxation. It was not applauded. It was something that was never rewarded personally for me within my family dynamic. And this made it extremely difficult for me to ease into relaxation as I got older. That led me to burnout, and for a long time, I wanted to just do nothing. And this is what encourages me to make videos like this. Implementing these methods has helped me so much in cultivating peace, relaxation, and healing in my life. So I really hope that it can do the same for you. In a world with more regulated nervous systems, I genuinely believe there would be less fuckery. So let's make this world a better place by taking care of ourselves. As Gandhi once said, you must be the change that you wish to see in the world. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. Thank you guys for getting through this video, and I applaud you for going deeper into your healing journey. Not a lot of us intentionally do this, so I want you to give yourself a pat in the back, bestie. I wish you guys so much luck. If you liked anything you saw, please make sure to leave a comment, hit that like button, and make sure to subscribe. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. I'll catch you in the next one.